to Edit Talk Podcast. I am Ruth Gahemba Solomo and I am your host. On today's episode, I have a topic unveiling the mask of studying abroad. And with me in the house, I have Mr. Arthur. It's nice to have you, sir.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And Mr. Collins Namdi. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, sir. Mr. Arthur. So what would you say traveling abroad has been or studying abroad has been for you? Since I've never traveled before, what would you say it is the experience?
It's a combination of everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the unspoken. But overall, it's it's an amazing experience that everyone should try, if possible, to try and have. Yeah.
Would love to have one then. So as someone who wants to study abroad, what would you advise me?
It's not all about studying abroad. You know, we have all these old Japa syndrome going on right now. It's really not about traveling. You can't just wake up and pack your bags. If that's the case, you can find a way to Douala in Cameroon. But at the same time, you need to traveling abroad means okay, what am I going here for? Especially for studies. This country, where am I going here for? What are the job opportunities? What are the internship opportunities? Ranking does matter. Ranking of universities. It might be expensive, but the truth is that I'm not going to mention some universities where you can't compare person from A and person from B. You take obviously the person from A because they have impacted more on it. So you have to do research on the school you want to go to. You have to know the opportunities they have there and what the work environment is. Not the one you'll be working one day. You can't carry enough for your side. That's true. So yes, all those things are. It's not. You don't just jump in. Take your time. And go
Okay.
through it, yeah.
Okay, so for someone who is going to a new country, how are you able to navigate with the language barrier? Were your lecturers lecturing in English? Or was there someone transcribing all of those? How were you able to cope?
Well, let's just say that the first day I got there, I lost my way because it was Glasgow, University of Glasgow International College. It was the west end of Glasgow, and accommodation was quite a distance, like 30 minutes to like the city center and stuff.
Okay.
Obviously walking, and class-wise, language of instruction was English. Yeah, but there's English and there's English. You understand?
Yeah.
By the time they speak theirs, you have to like strain
Pay
your ears to
attention.
hear, but with time you get to understand what's going on. But there was no language barrier. It was literally English, except you want to learn the local slangs they have around. Yeah,
Okay.
but it was a good one.
So, Mr. Collins, you look so fine.
Thank you.
Can you tell us how long did it take for you to adjust with the food, language, and of course, since you're being to a new country, the racism and all?
When you say adjust, it depends on the angle you are coming from. Okay. It took me quite about 3 months
Okay.
to get used to some of the things like the language. Just like my friend said, there is English, there is English. You have to bend. Coming from Nigeria, you have to bend to understand some English they speak. It's
Okay.
English, but Scottish English is quite different from every other English.
Okay.
So it took me quite some time to adjust to that. And when it comes to the food aspect, I never adapted to the food.
So, how were you able to cope the long time
For
you
the
stay there?
first few months, let's say 2 months or thereabout, I was eating biscuits,
Wow.
cornflakes, and bread. Then with time, I got some people that introduced me to a store, African store, where I can get the African stuff I need. So I never adapted to their food. Their food is nice, but it was not my food, and I never adapted to it.
So, for someone who is studying or planning to study abroad, what would you say? How much should I budget? What was your budget for your rent? Were you working interjobs? Were you working and schooling? Did you have support from your parents, or how much did you budget?
Well, for me, I'll say my own case is different. I went there um, right after secondary school. I think I was 16 then. I literally turned 18. And from there, moved to undergrad and a bit of postgrad. So, obviously, beginning, parents came in. You can't, after secondary school,
Yeah.
where I keep money, to, to pay for such thing. So, obviously, parents came through. I remember then, I remember my offer letter from Glasgow, my school fees was roughly, I think, £8,790, tuition only. Um, Obviously, Glasgow is like Russell Group, so school fees is a bit high. And yeah, I think I later moved on to Sheffield, which was like 11,000 as well. So accommodation, I can't remember how much I paid for accommodation because I'm not the one that paid for it. But were they jobs? Yeah, they were like intermittent
Okay.
jobs. Like I think it was like I'm talking way back as 2010, 2011. I think it was like £7, I think £8 per hour. Yeah, and I worked with the school accommodation. I was part of the people called welcoming people. You wear beeps and then you welcome the new students that come, introduce them. Want to say you don't did there like
Carry
longer
them
hair,
around.
carry them along and things
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, they were intermittent jobs. And then during holidays, um, I normally stayed back to do like jobs. And during holidays, there are many jobs because Nigerians they know to like cold weather. So before you know, they're running back to Nigeria. So also we're there to collect the jobs and do. But otherwise, it was those jobs actually do help.
Okay.
With the
Yeah.
extra pocket money your parents give you.
Support you with.
Yeah, at least you see money for shayo,
Yes,
money for whiskey. Because my weather cold, though. You guys drink
and
whiskey.
also money to like maybe somebody back home asking you for, can you help me out
I
with?
know the sense. I beg. I don't give
Okay, so
anybody anything.
talking about the cold weather, I want to dive into your relationship. How are you able to cope?
I don't know what you're talking about. I was a priest in my former life. So
Yeah, the cold weather is really something else. Okay, the first day I left Nigeria, my flight was from Abuja to London, Heathrow. So on getting to Heathrow Airport, I was like, where's the cold everybody's talking about? I was still feeling warm,
Okay.
wearing my, I think, polo t-shirt, and I was not feeling the cold. Then, after the whole process from checking your passport and trying to navigate to the next place where I will connect my
after
flight to
flight.
Aberdeen, I mistakenly, let me use the word mistakenly, came outside the door.
Wow.
It was like you jumped from fire to ice. I ran back
Wow.
inside. I was like, this is the code.
You're welcome.
It was like a welcome
Welcome.
party. And that is where I started experiencing the code. Like from there and on getting to board the flight to Aberdeen, I had to double up, like wore the cardigan, wore another cardigan, but it was very cold,
Unfortunately for him,
very cold.
Aberdeen is because mine was Glasgow, which is like much lower than Aberdeen. Aberdeen,
Yeah,
then they're
Okay.
like further
like
up
the
north.
highest of it. Also.
So if we're getting like let's say -5 degrees, they are getting like minus
You
10,
should be getting
Wow.
minus
minus
15.
15,
So I
minus.
used to have friends at Aberdeen, and when they invite me, I'm like, "Come where? What am I coming there to do? You better come down and come and see me." So yeah, I can relate to what the cold doesn't hit you when you're out from the plane. No, it's just you stray your way somewhere somehow. Once you're outside, just open any door.
And you will
It's
feel
like there's a
it.
new life that has been just the way
Be
now
introduced to.
when you come back to Nigeria and enter Lagos.
You know that you're back to Nigeria.
I didn't say anything. No.
Okay. For someone who has never been out of the country, if I'm supposed to travel, let's say for school, and because I'm asking this because I've heard people who say they know friends abroad or maybe there, and then they want to travel, right?
Yeah.
You guys will be communicating, and let's say the day I tell you that okay, my flight is for so time, you're like, okay, once you get in, call me, and you get to where you're supposed to get to, you call, and nobody picks your call. How were you able to cope? Like your first time there, did you have friends there? Were they welcoming? Like, how were you able to just navigate around the whole situation?
My first time, I had people I was already talking to. I had one person that was already giving me a guide.
Okay.
But I was going to Aberdeen. The guy was in, I think, Manchester or thereabout. So the only guide was, this is how you will do. This, if you miss any, if you are confused, ask somebody. Then I was just okay. I landed at Heathrow, connected flights from Heathrow to Aberdeen Airport. I got to the Aberdeen around 11:30 or thereabout, midnight. I took a straight cab, just the way he told me, to the accommodation
Okay.
that I booked from Nigeria already.
Yeah.
On getting to the accommodation, there was a mixed up in the address. They gave me, that was number 8 Kings Street. That is an address,
Okay.
not a house
Wow.
number.
Okay.
I got there, I paid the taxi guy and he left. I was carrying my 2 big luggage, inside cold. I was shivering. I entered the first house. I knocked. They said the guy came out. I was like,
Who are
who are
you?
you? Wrong number, wrong address.
Address.
And he just slammed the door on me. I came outside. I was freezing. So, like,
No gloves.
I was already shaking and tears were dropping. You know, like my
Wow.
first time.
Of course,
Then I
leaving your
tried to
comfort
call
zone.
there was no network. I have not gotten a new line. So, to connect on WhatsApp was a problem. I couldn't contact anybody.
Wow.
I started going door to knock. I will knock in some doors, they will peep because you can actually see they will peep. I'll be
Yeah.
like,
This black
leave
man with
this, I'll call police on you. I was like, and as a newcomer, when you just hear that,
you found
Quick
your way.
race.
I know one wahala. I was knocking until almost I stayed outside more than 30 minutes on the code. Like a police guy came, asked me, I showed him the address. He said, here is the King Street, quite alright, but there is no door
Number or
number
address.
on this. Like, I was mad, I was confused. Then I kept knocking door by door till one guy opened the door and he looked at me and he saw, like, he was seeing me shivering.
He had compassion on you.
Like that, he was just like coming. He was like, he was a guidance angel. I came in, he sat me down, gave me like a hot tea. Or like, what's the problem? I told him I just came in my first time in Aberdeen, explained to him. He looked at the address again, looked at the number. There was a phone number actually, but the phone number they gave me, they missed one number.
Okay.
So he was the one that kept trying
Trying the
different
lines.
number until one went through.
Wow.
He was really a good guy. Like that guy,
You had
then
it rough.
He was a lifesaver.
was a lifesaver. Before now they talked and they just they gave me the room, the door number. And do you know the funny thing? When I knocked the door, I knocked on the one facing the door. But the man that said he would call police on me was the one facing the door. So because of what he said, I didn't care to knock on the other one.
Okay.
And that's
that
how
was
I
the door.
missed the door I was meant to go in.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was crazy experience, but
Okay.
it's part of it, man.
Mine was smooth. Mine was smooth sailing. School had someone at the airport, like
To welcome you,
team,
yeah.
and just took us in the bus straight to the accommodation. I think it was Oakhill Street, somewhere by Glasgow. But it was totally different because I moved cities. So Sheffield, I found my way down to Sheffield, went straight to the school. Then they took me to accommodation. South Africa, I had someone there already, so it was just easier. But well, now this one he did. Nah, these stations of the cross. Guy, mine was not this bad.
crazy,
Nah,
crazy, man.
not at all. I had a smooth sailing getting into any place.
Okay, thank you. So for again, someone who has not traveled, if it's so interesting, what brought you back? Why did you leave where you were after studies and everything? Why did you come back?
You know, like your fatherland. You know, you know.
I want to believe you like your fatherland, but
No,
you still left
actually-
for studies.
No, actually, that is where like options comes in.
True.
Some people travel never to come back. Some travel to visit and go back. Some travel just to get the experience and come back. So I would think in my own case, I travel to get the experience and come back.
Okay.
Then I had a roommate. He's a very good guy. I'll never forget that guy. His name is a good guy. My roommates. We landed the same day and all. He said he will never come back to Nigeria. That is his own option, his own opinion about life. He have his reasons for that. But me, I think I just went to
Get the
get
experience.
one or two experience and I'm back here. But in the future, tomorrow I might still
Decide to go back.
go back.
True. It's indeed. Oh no, me, I came back because obviously my parents sponsored me, so I had to come back and show them what they paid for. Obviously, not I couldn't show it from there, but just like you said, um, that food thing you can never get, you can't adapt to
Homemade
it.
food.
Exactly. When you have the likes of pounded yam, white soup, and you're switching it for what? Wabaton's bread. Wabaton's bread, Subway, and all those other. No, 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 no. You can't adapt. Like you said, the option of going back is always, that's one good thing as an international student. You can always, at any time, you've already had that experience, you can always go back
Okay.
anytime you want. But nah, there's, truth be told, and if those abroad will actually say the truth, there's
That's why I have you here.
hello. If those abroad can say the truth, there's nowhere like home. I'm not trying to.
But some people say they're already making their home there.
No
So
matter
you
how
can't-
much you make your home dear, you know you.
But they said home is where the hearts belong.
Nah,
yeah?
they're your heart.
Some people that's where their
They
heart
lie
is.
give themselves. Let's tell
They are
ourselves
not
the truth.
lying, but
If not so,
something.
if I did there,
No, just like I told you,
you had your reasons.
I had my reasons.
But still, trust me. What I'm trying to say is, okay, there's that authority you have when you're here in Nigeria and when you're outside. That's
Were
where
you
I'm
a
coming from.
slave there?
I'm not a slave, okay? I don't understand. No,
No,
lie,
it's
lie.
not about
And the way
being
you
not
said,
about-
okay,
it's not about
authority.
slave.
So you're on a visa
Okay.
and you try as much as possible not to do things that would go against the laws of the visa you are given.
Okay.
So more like you have, not
To
like
be
you're in a
cautious.
chokehold. Yes, you have to be cautious. You're driving, you have to be careful not to allow the popo blow their this thing. You can't drink and drive. Not that I drink and drive in Nigeria here, but that you have the freedom, yes, but there's something that is telling you
When you're
where
in your own
you're
home.
you understand. At least where road safety stop, like I said, let's just be honest. Where road safety stops you here, at least you can banter with them. Okay, how far, this. Over there, if
You
police
can.
stops you, first of all, you start at attention. Keep your hands behind your back and like, okay, what's up, officer? What did I do? Because truth be told, there has been instances of we do watch the news to see what happened with police and students, not students, but like generally foreigners.
Yeah.
And if anything happens to them, nothing. Let's just be honest, nothing. They will just carry them back here. So by the time you think of more investments that is on your head, people back home, you have to give back. Just respect yourself and answer the person, and know that I'm just here for a time being. After that, I'm coming back home. But problem now is that when you come back home, wahala, we have on men gone and those ones. Then you have them kata kata too much.
Yep.
You know, be like,
Plenty, a lot of
did
wahala.
I make a mistake coming back?
Yes, that is always one of
If
the
not
things.
because of the food, I fit the cargo and they
They
come.
go.
But when you think of other things, freedom.
Just like when they say like you leave Nigeria to the UK. Let me use UK as because that's where I've been. Nigeria to the UK. There is a lot difference.
Okay. Can you tell us about the difference?
The difference is like trekking from here to
don't
Australia.
fall for that. Don't you ever.
the
But
difference is like trekking from here
all those UK
trekking
people-
from here to Australia.
That will tell you, oh, it's just a wee,
Yeah.
it's just a Scottish people. It's just a wee walk down the road. My sister is not down the road. You're walking from Wuye to Ogaladima, and you keep walking. They don't have any issues. I think that's why they keep fit. You barely see them have arthritis. But I never got used to that walk, But eventually, I had to find the right shoes, the right canvas to put on. And I started enjoying. Just carry your
Yes,
earpiece.
AirPods.
Put-
because
and
everybody's
go.
on the street.
Everybody's are
It's
just
busy with
minding
either
their
they are
own.
busy with their phone or everybody's on earpiece,
Just
minding their
when
business.
this one you pass in Nigeria, everybody will like, good afternoon, good. No, you did nobody. If you greet, sir, they'll look at you
They'll
like,
look at you.
are
They
you, are
don't-
you, are
maybe
you?
he's new or maybe he's.
They don't even reply you. Just
Some
hello.
will ignore you, some will
They
will
go,
greet you back.
you go. So
But the
cultural.
difference is different. There's a lot difference between Nigeria and here in terms of, let's say, social amenities. Good road, lights, clean environment, security, and a lot of it.
That light issue.
Yeah.
That thing disgraced me. We had a presentation because obviously the teaching system is quite different from how we teach here.
Yeah.
They teach you to use your head. Like
Okay.
if you want be as big as the size of this chair, they don't care. Your head,
Your
what's
head.
in your head is what you actually have to use. So I remember I think I had a presentation, my first ever presentation ever in one of them English classes. And typical Nigeria now, you guys the night before, you guys iron your clothes so that
So you will
it
look nice.
before never go take like so I carried clothes I was looking for it to iron and my roommate, a German guy was like, oh, what's wrong? I was like, I have a presentation tomorrow, I have to like iron. So I had this Nigerian guy that was there, but he was born here, but he
Okay.
comes in and out.
Yeah.
And he was just laughing. He's like, guy, you're not in Nigeria. There's lights tomorrow. You can always,
You can always do it.
iron anytime you want. So so that's it's psych. But with time, by the time you blend in, you enjoy the place wherever.
You will. You
Once
will.
you blend in and have friends there, I
Yeah.
try to tell people when you go abroad, you're already a Nigerian. Sorry, I'm not trying to sound racist or
Feel
whatever,
free.
but
Try to
as a
mix up.
Nigerian, why am I making friends? Why am I making Nigerian friends here? I'm an international student. I'm there to make foreign friends. You're my Nigerian brother. Obviously, that one is by default. You're already my brother. You're my
Okay.
anytime, any day.
We can
We
still,
look after each other.
Yes, we can still
He
link
will
up.
agree with me, or anyone that's studied abroad will agree with me. Listen, this whole Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Ejoti is once you enter this place, immediately we enter that flight, and that flight lands wherever it is, be it Gatwick, be it Oratambo, or Heathrow.
You're on your own.
We are all Nigerians.
All
we don't
Nigerians.
care.
We don't identify as
We don't
Igbo,
identify as
You're a Nigerian. You're my brother.
you're my brother.
That's how we
If
do it.
anybody touches you, we come for you as a pack. We come, but once we enter that plane and lands at any whether Mota Mohammed or this one here at Abuja, everybody claim their
Everybody
no,
claim
but
their
outside
tribe.
everybody's one. So all those things, those cultural and stuff, it's part of the experience that it bonds people together.
Okay. Now, I had a friend. I remember we were talking sometime. I noticed he wasn't feeling well, and I'm like, okay, so why are you not going to see a doctor or something? Like, basically, if you can't see a doctor, there should be a first aid that you can at least calm the situation down. And he goes, that would take weeks or even months. So how are you able to navigate, like, when you're down, like, seeing doctors? I know that I don't. Is there anything like an emergency for foreigners?
Yes.
And now you see your friend there. He didn't tell you the truth. He or she did not tell you the truth. There is no way you'll be sick and you can knock and they'll book an appointment for you. Come months like nah. When I was there, I had a boil. I think on one of my eyes, I had a boil on the walls. I think that was at Sheffield, and I just went to the GP. Told them. Obviously, then they had not started this whole IHS thing. We didn't have it at my own time. It was not there. So I walked to the GP, told, I needed to remove this. And they were like, okay, fine. Pick any of these dates when you have to do it. When they see me thinking I have to pay thousands of pounds. And they were like, oh, no, it's free. Just go there. They just told me, do you have somebody that you can call that will stay with you? Same thing happened when I was in South Africa as well. The same thing. Do you have someone that you can call? So that is where friends
Okay.
comes into play, and that is where being good is not about making friends with the foreigners. We always remember you still have your
Nigerian brother.
people there. So the first one in Sheffield, it was few of my friends, I think Ryan and Cap. I had to call two of them, and then they came. And after that, they are both white. And after that, we both went back to South Africa zone. I was Nigerian student president, so the Niger guys fully. Then drive me come. Then drive me go back with porridge and white chop after. So that's a whole lot of difference.
But in that, what your friend said is in a way is true. I have had somebody that encountered that in Scotland. Maybe I would say maybe it's because of during COVID.
Unless during
Or
that.
yeah, during COVID.
It was
There was somebody that was very sick
okay.
and he was trying to get to the GP, which is like the hospital,
Local
the
area around.
local area around.
Okay.
And they told him he have to book an appointment. There's nothing they can do. They just
Interesting.
told me he have to go to the shops and get maybe all this paracetamol.
Panadol.
So, Mr. Arthur, you mentioned you went to South Africa. Would you advise Nigerians to go to South Africa? What was your experience? Can you tell us more about that?
Uh, so before I start, I was president Nigerian Students Association for my university.
Okay.
So by virtue of office I held, I'm not allowed to say some certain things and some other some other things. But um, I would still advise Nigerians to go to South Africa. Xenophobia or no xenophobia, I know a lot of people will come for my head. Hmm? But I experienced it. That was 20, I think that should be 2014, 2015.
Okay.
In Joburg. There's a place they call Cosmos City because my school was on Peters Road, a place called Rodeport. My school was around there. The campus of my school was an Australian university, but they have a campus in South Africa. So it was along that road, and people normally come from Cosmos City, those that live off campus. So what I experienced was like, I don't want to say an offshoot, but the xenophobia then was concentrated more in KwaZulu Natal, Durban, the KwaZulu Natal province, but somehow those in that area had taken it up as well.
Okay.
So I think that was till date, that should be among my top 5 scary moments because I don't know. Oh, yeah, it was food. Yes, it was food. Rice and beans. It was food that took me to that took me to Cosmos City. And I was returning. It was in the morning, very early in the morning. And I had noticed by I think it's Bayes now the road, they had blocked off. So I just needed to cross them to enter the taxi that would take me to school. So for South Africa, they call bus taxis and then they
Okay.
call traffic light robots. So I just had to cross them. They're like a small distance. I'm talking like a pole. And they had barricaded the road, like fire, woods and stuff. And I had two of my friends, Salvo and Ochman, we had gone to look for food. And Ochman was of the opinion, see, if we're going to die, let us go back and eat proper food. At least if we are
So he was willing to die.
he was willing to go. And
For
me,
good food.
me, I thought of, I'm like, hold on. So there was a barricade. We had like some Indians and some others in front. And then the other side were the locals shouting, Amakwekwe, which means like foreigner, foreigner, whatever. So they were about crossing. Police was like warding off. I just told my guy, see, come, let's just walk through this thing. Let's walk through the side. He looked at me, he's like, I never want that. I said, guy, if we walk by the side, nobody will notice that the attention is more in the center.
Okay.
He's like, are you sure? I said, guy, highest we run. If we run, anybody will they catch. Sorry. So we took that risk and then we are going from nowhere. One Indian guy just, we did not even know, just followed us behind and kaboom. Next thing was like this Molotov, this bottle with fire. Us,
Yeah.
passed, and I looked at like, we are passing over, and I looked, it was India. I so wanted to.
They recognized the Indian.
They recognized the Indian guy because
Oh.
they thought us as
We are
black
indigenous.
guys, we are
Okay.
indigenous. So they were like, but the Indian guy was not gonna let us. So
was different.
was different. So at that time, you can't even, because next thing they'll come and start speaking the local dialect to you, and if you don't reply, well,
Of course, there's
it
going
is
to
well
be
with your soul.
problem.
So we just no other option than to run. We just ran straight, and then there's a Caltex garage there. There was the JMPD, Johannesburg and Metro Police. They were there. So immediately we got there, the Indian guy was still. In fact, the funny thing is that the guy was faster than 3 of us. So he ran. He ran past
you
us,
guys.
and then luckily for us, the police guys were like, okay, where are you going? We're like, we're going to school. Like, well, that was risky. But now that was one out of many. We do have cases of riots once in a while here in Nigeria. We've had the issues of Kaduna riots, and you and I believe that they may, I'm not sure, they may or might not have been some foreigners who were affected. So it's the same thing as them. But overall, South Africa is a lovely place. When the people are friendly, the people are lovely. It's just a few that feel like, okay, hey, this and this and that do get like gruntled once in a while, but otherwise it was an amazing experience. The safaris, the beach sites like Durban, Cape Town, Table Mountains, all around there's a park, Kruger Park, where you have like the lions and the rest. Remember going in there and they told us, oh, you can't go with a car that does not have sealed roof. So all these ones that do open roof that put up, they're like, no, you can't go in there. But Nigeria, they stubborn. So when they told Mini Cooper and the thing was on top, you get like 2 lions. That was my first time I've seen a lion. Those things are huge. This thing just started walking up. And I was looking, the idiot I went with had fuel on empty. I'm like, guy, better reverse this car and let's leave, because it was like, how do I put it? I don't want to say coven, but it was like a place where you enter and it's just lines around and you have the gate.
You don't have to drive.
You have to drive yourself around and stuff. And the idiot had his fuel tank on empty. I'm like, let me they go chop here. But funny enough, we were able to like drive. But I noticed one thing, like the lion, those things are smart. How it was able to like pounce on top of the car. And I think by the time the weight came down, forget I'm saying it like this, so my heart was racing that day. But my guy was able, I think the guys that released like a shot and the thing now came down, and I told my guy, see, drive out immediately.
Yeah, that was a risky.
Because if that thing had fell inside that place, that was 2014. Now for they do like 10 years remembrance. But otherwise, South Africa was an amazing place. Forget what media sometimes does not do justice to a whole lot of things that happen.
I can't say this is media because this is actually my pastor. I remember one of those days in church, he mentioned he traveled to South Africa. In fact, as he was landing, he was robbed.
Oh, no, that's normal.
Like everything on him, his clothes and everything. Imagine being arrested in a country that is not yours. You do not understand how to even speak their local language, like you mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. How are you able to, with the robbery incidents and all? Because it wasn't funny for him, even not for the person that had carried him was feeling bad because he knew him as a pastor. Mm-hmm. And he was like, okay, if anything goes wrong, how will he explain to Nigerians or his congregation that this is what happened to their pastor, why he was under his care? So he said he called someone and then the person made a call and luckily for him, that was actually what saved the day. The fact that as they were trying to debate that he was a drug dealer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we're trying, because I feel, okay, unlike, I thought it was only Nigeria that when police catches you, they don't explain, they don't need evidence. The only thing is that you find yourself in prison. Mm. This was happening in South Africa, where for some reasons, while they were going back and forth, the radio was actually broadcasting the event he went there for. And luckily, there was a banner that had his picture. That was what saved the day for him. Mm. But for someone who you don't have that privilege, how will you be able to navigate? Like, or did you any of you experience that and have that experience?
Well, so it's more like, I'll call it a stereotype. So just like the Ghanaians and the Congolese, we all have one. Nigerians and these two other countries, when we're there, we have like a particular kind of structure, physical structure. So, to the best of my knowledge, I don't know if they have changed it. South Africa does not have a death penalty. So, I think it was because of the whole apartheid thing that happened. But the robbery let's just be honest, the robbery in every country of the world, even UK self, when by the time those guys show you that they are shank and just give them their thing and be going, those Africa's own might be blown out of proportion. I'm trying to save myself so that next time I apply for visa, they will give me a visa.
But you have to save people that are planning to go there so that we want the truth, so that we'll know what you're dealing with when you want to travel to certain places.
Just try and have a means of identity on you. That is if you're going for holidays, but make sure that the people you're going for, like, there should be like a travel guide, a tour guide that will be there to act as a middleman between you and the law enforcement there. But it's not like the law enforcement just sees you and flags you on the road. No. I only got stopped. I'm not sure, it was up to like 5 times. And on one of them, I was speeding and they had stopped me. They're like, hey, I think I was doing like a 120, like where there was 80. And I got fined. That one is fine. That's normal. I paid for my fine. But other than that, the rest, when they stop, they have this routine. You don't see them having roadblocks like we have in Nigeria here. Every one pole is 1 block. No. It's except if needed, like a case of a stolen car and they want to like find out, and they now, and you're unfortunately in Nigeria and you drive past, just know that they will park you by the corner. Gist with them, these guys are human beings. There's how you'll interact with them and they will let you go. They will know that, okay, you're free. But if you try to be hostile, try to like act Nigerian as you act here with our Nigeria police there, they will tell you that you're on a visa. But otherwise, robberies, I got robbed once. And the funny thing was, I was going on official work stuff. It was from Brie, the taxi rank in Brie. I had to take a bus going to our Nigerian, is it consulate or something at Ilovo? There's a place called Ilovo Santin. And there at the taxi rank, which is the bus station or whatever, I had met someone there, more like a conductor, and oh, where can I get a bus, a taxi going to just okay, let me back. Hey, when Isha, where can I get a taxi going to Lovo? I was like, oh, follow me, come with me. So me, I was like, oh, okay, fine. This guy took me like round. It was when we were going round around the corner. I'm like, hold on, no, this is not the taxi rank I'm meant to go to.
You did
So
your Lagos style.
as in the guy now turned around, I was like, hey man, you're a nice man. I don't want to harm you. And then he opens his hoodie right here, I think left or right, and he had like a dagger. I thought about it. I'm like, I could take this guy one-on-one. But by the time I noticed like there are guys like circling me, I knew that I was not alone. Now, funny thing, just 2 steps from us was like the metro police there. And this guy was eating whatever he was eating, as looking at me as per, okay. So me, I was looking at him like, oh boy, now rob, they rob me here,
help.
come. Or that don't even stand, he was just eating his thing. So I just gave the guy my wallet. This guy's I'm not kidding, in less than 10 seconds, tore that wallet. How? Like, one person was robbing me, but by the time the others, which I suspected, came, I didn't see my wallet. Like, it was gone. So me and I went to the metro guy and like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? He said, fine. I said, oh, I just got robbed. He's like, yeah, really? I'm like, yeah, you saw me. He's like, oh, no, I didn't see you. I was busy discussing with my colleague. Guess what? There was no colleague. It was only him that was on top of there. I always looked at him like, it's fine. No problem. Then, obviously, it was around. I knew some friends that had shops around there. Told them what happened. They're like, oh, no, don't worry. Welcome to Joburg. It's even for you to have been robbed, because I stayed like 4 years there, for you to have been robbed in your last year here, that means you have really, really escaped. That is a normal thing to be done. But
Wow.
it was a fun experience though. Not the rob, but generally.
General.
Yeah, Joburg was a fun place.
Okay, Mr. Collins, I have this for you. How would you say studying abroad has affected you?
The studying abroad have affected you in many ways. Positively, should I say negatively?
You apply for visa, I'm not talking negative. Yeah, you can still
Positively.
travel. Positively, yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Collins, I have this for you. Why spend so much money to study abroad and come back to Nigeria and look for jobs?
Most people come back after studying abroad and they look for a job in Nigeria, maybe because they have a big company, let's say oil company, that is already waiting for them to go and study and come back and continue their work.
Okay.
That's one. Some people just go to abroad to get experience and come back and establish in business.
Okay.
And also, when you are studying abroad, you are on a visa. When your visa expire, you have to come back.
So you're saying there are no good schools where you can study the things you went out to spend money on in Nigeria?
There are.
So why go to that length to spend money and come back to the same country you're avoiding in the first place?
Going to abroad to study is not avoiding your country. It's not avoiding this country, Nigeria.
Based on what you just said anyways.
Some of us went to abroad to get a experience, to mix up with other people from different backgrounds. So after our maybe 1 year, 2 years experience, getting to learn 1 or 2 things, we decided to come back and establish in business, or in order maybe to take up other roles in oil firm. Like I have a friend that studied abroad in the UK, to be precise. He came back and he's working with an oil firm in Nigeria.
The question still remains, why go out if you actually have a better school here to do that?
Let's just be honest.
Okay, let's just be
Ranking.
ranking. Okay, let's say in Nigeria, you can't rank the schools in Nigeria on the same level.
But you can rank the jobs.
You can't rank the jobs.
So why come back and look for a job here?
Because it's, let's say, let me use this word. Some jobs in the UK, you can't just...
They would prefer their own people first.
They would prefer
than
their
us
own people
foreigners.
first. People that have British passports, for instance.
Okay.
Like looking for a job. Let me say you are looking for a job in Shell, British company and Nigeria company. For you to get a job in Shell, it will be easier for you to get in Nigeria than in the UK.
Okay.
So some people actually come back to get the one here. So
Okay, thank
did I
you.
answer your question?
Thank you, sir. Mr. Arthur, I learned you have a company. So how has it been for you, for someone who didn't study in the country? Like, how has that helped your business or company? How do I say this that you understand better? For someone who wants to have a company or someone who already has, and that's you who already has, what would you say your studying abroad has actually helped in your company?
Um, my company has to also do with sending people abroad. I know it's like 360, but at the same time, it helps in terms of should I say discipline.
Okay.
Not that it's not here in Nigeria. My NYC was in a military environment in Kaduna. So trust me, discipline was given.
Okay.
But um the way you let me not sound too bad, but you can't compare the
Let's say
way
time management.
thank you. You can't compare the way a Nigerian, please nobody should crucify me, wait. You can't compare the way a Nigerian that is trained here and the way a Nigerian that was trained abroad, how they handle business. The right person is all about, like you said, time management, targets. Well, Nigerian person, yes, he might have it, but truth be told, just like you mentioned, in terms of our universities, there's that little edge they have over us. The best university we have here is ranked what? Less than 1,000, whatever.
Yeah.
You can't compare it to there. There are means of teaching that they have over there that we don't have here. There are means of research that they have over there that we don't really have over here. Our education system, yes, definitely is growing, but he can understand when I say Turnitin. You can't submit your assignment on Turnitin and have anything more than 0%. Meanwhile, I don't know about Nigeria. I don't know. Some schools obviously might be using Turnitin, but some don't. But I can assure you, if they put majority of Nigerian professors, let me not talk about our students, on Turnitin, you fire a lot of people. So business wise, the way I handle it here, it's a bit tough. I won't lie. It is tough coming to an environment that we always emphasize on African time.
Yes.
I will need you to be here by 2 p.m. The person will tell you, okay, I'm coming. 3 p.m., 4 p.m.,
3 p.m.
person's
You're
not
still
there.
waiting.
Time is money. So
So
that's
why
one
did you
thing.
bring it down here? Why didn't you stay there and start up the company?
Well, like I said, I'm a patriotic Nigerian. I love this country. Though it's just to come and start up something and then see how it goes. It's more like, okay, it
And
was meant
also,
to be fun.
and also
But
some people actually travel to gain the experience. Like I said, I traveled to gain the experience. I never plan on starting something there,
over there.
but to come back and establish here.
Okay. Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Arthur and Mr. Collins. It was so nice having you both here. We hope to do more of this. Thank you.
Don't hope to do more of it again. But it was fun.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you for
us.
having
Yeah.
us. Thank you
We
very
really
much.
enjoyed our time here.
Okay, and that's the much we can take on today's episode. I still remain Ruth Gahemba Solomon, your host. Please endeavor to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.